like if I look back at that time, like I have no regrets because I did all the things that I could do.
Honestly, each episode of this podcast is special to me. Each guest brings unique insight and perspective on life and living with serious illness. And this week is no different. But this week is especially special because our guest, Shoots, is living with an illness that many people don't know about. I'm so happy that she's willing to educate us and spread awareness. This week is also special because I met Shoots through a former guest of the podcast. That connection is so special and meaningful, and I'll have more to say about that at the end of the interview. Please open your mind and your heart to this lovely young lady who simply goes by Shoots. This is Dying to Tell You. It's great to have you on the podcast. I'm really excited, first of all, because you're a delight to talk to, but your disease is not well known. And so I want to spend a little time talking about what the disease is. So real quick, just kind of a brief summary of what was going on that made you think that something was wrong and how you got your diagnosis. And then we can talk about what the diagnosis is.
Okay. I was a college basketball player. My senior year, we won national championship. I was the player of the year, nationally, so obviously really good shape, active. And then that summer, I started having some numbness and tingling in my arms and hands, and they just couldn't figure out what was going on. And I just we just kept moving. And then that winter, I got a sore on my finger, and they lanced it and did all sorts of things that it wouldn't go away. So they sent me to hand specialists. Hand specialists were like, there's nothing wrong with your hand. There's something wrong inside. So they sent me to an internal specialist, then a rheumatologist, and then I got diagnosed with lupus. So I did not handle that well at all.
Yeah. What does that mean?
Really depressed. Just in a lot of pain. The only way I could sleep at night, I would take an Ambien and drink coffee so that it would get the caffeine in my system. And that's the only way I could sleep.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And I'm in eating disorder recovery, and it was horrible in my 20s because I just felt really out of control.
Yeah.
So it was just dark. Didn't want to live. And honestly, lots of people get misdiagnosed, and my frustration in my story is not that I got misdiagnosed, because I think I wouldn't be here if I would have known I had scleroderma. Because lupus is rough, but scleroderma is deadly, is more fatal. So I went from I was actually going to start training to go play overseas because I was like, okay, I should do it while I'm young enough to. And then I get diagnosed with lupus. So then I stopped coaching. I was coaching college basketball at that point. So I stopped coaching and I started teaching. I taught, coached volleyball, coached basketball. And then my husband and I got married. I was 27, I think. And I got pregnant. And that put me in remission. And so then we went in for an anatomy scan, and our baby had no heartbeat. So then I had her, and then I was still within remission. I got pregnant with Z in 2013. So that was 2 years until I had Z. And then I stayed in remission until I stopped nursing him. And then, so when I was about 33, I started noticing that I was trying to feel swelling. When I was trying to do push-ups, I couldn't bend my hands all the way. And just some odd symptoms. I'd never ever had a butterfly rash, and I would go exercise outside. I didn't get mouth sores. I was like, this is not all adding up. So I was like, what's going on? And he's like, you just need to wear gloves. I'm like, that doesn't help my swallowing. So then I go to my primary care physician. I was like, like, help me. And he's like, you're overreacting. So finally, after about a year of just nobody listening, I went to Vanderbilt. Fortunately, I live 2 hours away from Vanderbilt. And I walked in to a rheumatologist's office, and he asked me questions, asked to look at a picture of me from 5 years ago. And he's like, hey, you have scleroderma. No idea. No idea. And I just thought that he's going to be like, oh, here's a new treatment for lupus, and we'll, get you feeling better. So his mom had scleroderma, which is why he knew that I had scleroderma, because he recognized it in me. And that was 2017.
It's so interesting. So he looked at a picture of you from 5 years ago and just said, you have scleroderma. He could just tell by looking, because there are some physical symptoms that you can really see.
Yes.
Right?
It's like they say that, a scleroderma mask. So like my nose is much more narrow. My jaw, like I have no chin anymore. My lips are thinner. So there's like a very distinct, my teeth protrude more. There's like a very distinct look from and also like how shiny my skin is, because it's pulled so tight. So there is a very distinct look. And it's interesting because my son, I don't really talk to him a lot about scleroderma unless he asks. He has noticed, because I was he was looking at my shoulder while we were going through Instagram, and he's like, oh, she has scleroderma too. And I'm like, well, how do you know? And he told me, he's like, she looks like you. I was like, okay. It's pretty interesting.
So he tells you have scleroderma, and I'm assuming, like most people, you have no idea what that means. Did he say anything else about what that means or what you're going to do, or did he go into all of that at that time?
Maybe.
You don't remember?
I don't remember. I just remember just being shocked. And I remember like texting my brother and his wife and my husband. I don't know who all I text. I remember my sister-in-law sending me a song. I remember listening to that song on repeat the whole way home and crying. Like, I just, I do know that he did try to comfort me, because his mom passed away from cancer in 70, you know what I'm saying? So I know he tried to comfort me. But I don't remember. I know at some point we sat and talked about how, scleroderma is really hard to treat because it's cyclical. So you can give somebody medicine and then they kind of go into remission, and you're like, well, would it have done that anyway? Right. Or is it from the medicine? So, so there's for scleroderma now, there's definitely more options for treatment, but we don't actually treat scleroderma. They treat what happens because of scleroderma.
The symptoms.
Manage symptoms. Yeah.
But so you're crying on the way home. So you obviously felt like there was something significant about the diagnosis. Did you know that it was something that's, terminal or potentially terminal, or was it just this idea that you've been living thinking that you were dealing with lupus and now you're dealing with something else? What was it that was so devastating to you about hearing that?
Oh, because my little nosy tail got in the car and Googled scleroderma. And at that point, literally it's people live 1 to 3 years after they're diagnosed. And I'm like, well, I'm on year 11, shoot. Right. What, what? So, and I have a 4.5-year-old. Literally for 6 months, I was really depressed. And I didn't think I was going to be here that long.
Yeah.
And they found a little bit of lung damage, which is insignificant. It's a little bit, but those are all things that are just really scary.
Oh, it's totally scary. And I can imagine all the reasons why you might be crying on your way home all of the things that you said. Will you tell people what scleroderma is?
Scleroderma is an autoimmune disease that has no cure or treatment, and it's when your body produces too much collagen.
Too much collagen. Okay.
So then what that does is, and it's called fibrosis. So what collagen builds up, and it's hard. It hardens things. So I'm part gargoyle is what I tell people, because like I'm turning to stone.
Right. Okay.
Like literally I am.
I know.
Yeah.
That's just a really good humored way of saying it, but yeah.
I couldn't find a cute gargoyle to put on my desk. They're not like there's none.
They're
all
not cute. Yeah.
No, we need a cute gargoyle. I need to get on that.
Yeah, you do. So tell us a little bit about what the symptoms are, because I know a little bit about scleroderma, but it affects all parts of the body, right? So you said you notice some in your hands, you noticed in your face, in your skin, but you mentioned lung. So talk a little bit about how it affects all those little pieces and parts.
First of all, there's two different types of, really, there's this big umbrella of scleroderma. There's one half I'm not going to talk about, but systemic sclerosis has two different types, limited and diffuse. And limited is like it sounds limited. It's mostly like arms and legs and skin, not as much internal stuff going on. There's some people that have no external and it's all internal. And then there's people like me that have all the things. I have diffuse scleroderma. So, right now, the things going on with my body, I'm having a lot of trouble swallowing. Food gets stuck in my throat. My stomach doesn't empty. My hands this is called sclerodactyly. Your hands are contracture. So then I can't extend my elbow all the way. My skin is stretching. So, if you look at my knuckles, there's no fat there. And my right foot, it's like walking like this because all the fat is gone. So, my bones are just it doesn't feel good. So those are I have interstitial lung disease. That's another one. You shouldn't Google your life expectancy with that one. My doctor told me not to.
And then you did it anyway, though, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, be honest. You would too.
Of course I would.
Exactly. She's like, look. She's like, you have interstitial lung disease, but don't Google it.
Right.
God.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so I have interstitial lung disease. My lung function is about 56%. It's gotten a little better with medicine. I started at severe lung disease and now I have moderate lung disease. So, that's really that was really encouraging. I have lots of arthritis. My shoulders are fused because of arthritis. But my jaw's reabsorbed. If you look at my face, how one side's my jaw's lopsided because my body just eats the bone. The bones die, and some of my clavicle has done that as well. And just in general, just all my joints, so that I can't move them all the way. Those are the highlights.
It's worth saying, you said interstitial lung disease, and you mentioned your swallowing and your stomach not emptying properly or emptying all the way. And the reason all of those things happen is that it is creating scar tissue. Is that right? It's kind of in those areas. So your lungs have it's not scarring as they just harden, right? And so they're not as pliable as they used to be. And so you can't fill up with air as easily, and they just aren't as movable as they were. And the same thing is happening in your esophagus and in your GI tract as well, right? So the people don't realize how complicated swallowing is. I hear these the doctors I work with all the time saying how complicated the swallowing mechanism is because lots and lots of muscles work to get whatever's in your throat down to into your GI tract, and then your GI tract is always moving and your stomach is moving to move stuff through and process. And so when you have this hardening of tissue in there, it's just not as pliable, not as movable, and so things don't move along. And I know when we talked before, you'd mentioned that sometimes you get gastroparesis where things just aren't moving through, and that can be very painful. And obviously, if you can't process food, that is a problem, right? So this podcast is not a medical podcast necessarily, but I want people to understand a little bit about what you're dealing with, because it is so, like you said, diffuse. It affects all these parts of your body. And not only is it affecting the way that you look and move, but the way that you breathe and eat is also being affected. So this is a really, obviously it's chronic, so you'll die with it or from it. And it affects just about every portion of your life. Right. So
yeah, like right now, my doctor is like literally, I saw my GI doctor and my rheumatologist this last week, and both of them mentioned feeding tubes to me. Like that's we're not there yet, but we're getting close to that point. Like, because I had an endoscopy a week ago, and there was just food just chilling in my esophagus. So, and she's like, so even if we get your gastroparesis fixed, the food has to get down to your stomach. So just I have a lot of testing coming out in the next little bit, because we just kind of have to figure out what's going on and how to best, how to best attack that.
Yeah. Yeah. So you said for about a year, it was really, really difficult emotionally for you. Did something change, or did you find a way of coping with that that's made it easier since then?
Yeah, I don't really know what I guess I think because I don't know if it was just because after about a year or so, and then they checked my lungs and they were the same. I think that I just kind of like, okay, like get it together, just we need to either, I don't know. I think I just was tired of living scared. And so my biological father died in May of 2017. And then I got diagnosed with Scleroderma that fall. And both those things together really changed my outlook on life and just how intentional I wanted to be with my time and not waiting for the perfect time to do things. So I think I have a great husband who I was like, I want to go to India. He's like, okay, I got it. I'm in India for 10 days. He's at home with our kids for 13 days. And then 2 weeks later, my family's having a baby shower for one of my siblings. I want to go. Okay, there's your birthday gift. So I think just living, and I'm just trying to make all the memories. I think at some point I was just like, I can't control this. You know what I'm saying? When I first got diagnosed, I was like obsessively checking message boards. Like, is there a treatment here? Or, you know what I'm saying? Or is this person doing this? Like, I was like obsessed with it. And there was this one post that I read. And this guy's like, I've had it since 1983. They said I was going to die then. And he's like, I'm still here. And he's like, but I'm going to ask you this. Like, if the doctors say you're going to die in 2 weeks, like, they don't determine that, you do. He's like, so you can either like sit there and just basically roll with the ball, or you can live. And I was like, that kind of makes sense. Like I still had that saved on my phone, and I think I finally just kind of it sunk in, and and then also I did, like I did things like if I look back at that time, like I have no regrets because I did all the things that I could do.
My love won't budge. My love won't fade after the preview. We only get one life. I won't live mine without you. Come on, stormy. I'll stay solid when you're distant.
You can obviously say no if you don't want to talk about this. But being an athlete, and then a coach, and living as a person recovering from an eating disorder, I can just imagine how difficult it would be to go from athlete, completely immersed in being active all the time, and that added piece of eating disorder, which for a lot of people that I know is a lot about control, and so losing your ability to be that athletic person and losing control are two big issues that I see with something like this. Would you talk a little bit about one or both of those things? How has that been for you?
So surprisingly, I've been doing pretty good as far as my eating disorder until recently. So after I had V, I like part of scleroderma is it's hard to keep weight on. So I ate whatever I wanted to eat when I was nursing. Like Z was a 10-pound baby. Like he's 12. And
you
he's
and your husband are
5'10".
both large people, right?
Yeah, like my family is Scandinavian. Like you know what I'm saying? Like we got the Vikings, like we got big bodies. So when I stopped nursing, like I didn't have to work to lose or baby weight because I nursed them. And like my teammates that I taught with, they still joke about my glory days when I was nursing. Like one day we had an intern, and I gave her $20 and said, "I need you to go get me some Joe chocolate cake, please." So I just ate whatever I wanted to, and I really stayed the same, and I was active. Right now, because I'm having so much trouble keeping food down. Okay, let me backtrack. I did the AIP, the autoimmune protocol diet for a while, and I had to stop because all I found out was what I was going to eat next, and I could see it, like I could see myself snowballing. So that I was having trouble keeping weight on, but then also it was just not good.
For someone who's lived with an eating disorder, the obsession over intake and what you're eating and what you're putting in your body, that is a big part of the problem. And when you have a protocol that requires you to do that, I think what you're saying is it would be really easy to slip back into old patterns of being obsessive about your intake. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you were seeing that how it could or how it might be starting to become more of a disorder, and so you stop doing. I think that's where you're
Yes.
going. You stop
Yeah.
the
I
protocol.
stopped. Which, yeah, I'm not. I think that it's great. Like, I think it works. I was in
Okay.
less pain. I could move better. Like, my skin was more elastic, but it just isn't something that was sustainable for me. So, so that time, that's probably one of the first times. And then now, like last year, I had to start drinking shakes, and shakes are triggering to me. So like that's hard. Also, just like I'm not muscular anymore. So that's also just difficult when you like look in the mirror and you're like, huh, like I have no biceps and there's nothing I can do to, to fix that. And then also right now too, just like I'm throwing up a lot, and that's really triggering as well. So I think that right now is actually like this last year has been the hardest as far as being in recovery and having scleroderma. Because like, am I really, not able to hold food down, or am I purging? Like, because I'm really good at gaslighting myself. I think most people with chronic illnesses we're like, maybe it's not that bad. It is. It usually is, but yeah. So I think the last year has been the hardest for me as far as that goes.
Yeah. You said looking at yourself in the mirror. I can just imagine. I mean, I think we all have maybe not all. I also have body issues. I would say I have body issues. I'm always like looking at myself and judging myself. And I can also imagine, because I lift weights a lot, looking at myself and seeing that kind of fading away and thinking, even though I don't really think of myself as that, but looking at myself and seeing that go away and thinking, oh, well, I'm not that anymore. I'm not strong anymore. Or for you, I'm not the athlete anymore. Are you finding it? I'm just thinking back to an interview I did just not long ago to a lady who had to stop working because of her illness, and having to think about what the essence of her is, and what gives her meaning, what gives her value. Are you struggling with that, or should I not have? Am I making you struggle with it now? Are you struggling with that? Is that something that has come to mind as you've thought about and like realized these things are being taken away from you?
I think the only thing that I'm sad about in that respect is that I can't go out and play basketball in the driveway with my kid. Like I think, like college was fine and playing college basketball, like that was my dream. But that is not, if you were to say, hey, what is your greatest accomplishment in life? I would say my family, my husband and my son. Like that's it. They're what's keeping me here right now. And so my greatest accomplishment is not a trophy or record books or whatever. That's not it. So I think the only time that I really wish that I was still that athlete is just so I could beat him as much as possible until he beat me.
Right. Yeah. That's really good. I mean, as I was saying that, I'm also thinking all of this is always going to go away, right? I mean, my body is going to deteriorate at some point if I'm lucky enough to live long enough to see it happen. And yours was also always going to deteriorate. It just happened that you got scleroderma, and it's happening a little faster than what we would have predicted. But yeah, I think that's it's really nice and probably very helpful that you don't see yourself as that. Like you weren't defining yourself as that person. What would you want people to know about living with scleroderma?
Um, it's hard and it's lonely.
Mm.
Our society does not support people with chronic illnesses, and like you lose relationships, and most people don't understand. You end up being a really good actress,
Mm.
and because like even on social media, I don't. People don't really see my bad days because I feel bad,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna put that on camera. I choose not to. Um, so I think that's the biggest thing. It's always it feels like there's always something because there always is something, and but I also something I think like chronic illness brings out the best or the worst, right? Like there are people who recognized, like last year, I was really sick last year, and they recognized it and they have become more intentional about connecting. And then there are people who, because my role in our relationship has changed, they're like, oh, that's not what I signed up for, or they're uncomfortable. So then, saying those relationships end. So I just think, which I mean, I get it because I changed the rules, right? I
Mm.
showing up in a different way,
Mm-hmm.
and it isn't what you signed up for. So I think that it's lonely, it's hard, and I'm saying it's lonely as somebody that has a pretty solid community, and it's still very isolating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Would you say more about that? I think it's a really important point, and we talk about it a lot on the podcast. But um, even people who have people around them, and sometimes even more so when there are people around them, it can still be a lonely experience. So, will you talk about what you mean by that? Like, how is that for you? How does that play out?
Well, part of it is just not having the ability to be spontaneous, right? So when they text, like my friend would be like, "Hey, I'm taking my kids to get snow cones. You want to go?" I don't drive anymore, things. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, or just things like that, just spontaneity. Like I plan things a week in advance. Like literally, I sit down on Sunday and we talk about our week and figure out the logistics. Um, so that's part of it. I can literally be going along fine and my body just shuts down. And if that happens, I'm done for the day or for that time. So people can't just pop in our house. Like everything has to be scheduled and coordinated because, like, my husband dresses me.
Right.
He does my hair. Um, we live in Tennessee. I qualify for nothing. So all the help we get is out of pocket. So, and we have people who pay for that monthly for us, or else we wouldn't have it.
All of those things are very isolating. And for somebody who has a lot of community around, when they are all doing stuff and going for snow cones or going out to eat or going to do whatever it is or trying to participate as a community together, when your body is in a place where you can't participate, that means you're missing out on whatever the community is doing. And so it's doubly isolating, I guess, in that way. Has it been helpful to put yourself out on social media in the way that you have?
Yeah, because I have a online community and people that really do like that are walking a similar path. Like when I got diagnosed, like I mean nobody was scleroderma.
Sure.
All I had was what I could see, and that's the whole reason that I started posting is because I didn't want anybody to feel like I felt when I first got diagnosed. And then I also want family members to know how to support their loved ones. And well, not family, just anybody. Like, how do you support someone? Because lots of people are just uncomfortable with illness, and so they don't know what to do, so they don't do anything. So I think helping with that, and also just putting a face and a story to something. A lot of times especially on social media, because being disabled a lot of times equals being poor in our country. People see, most of the time when you see a disabled person on TikTok, they need help financially. And fortunately, that's not us, but it's not anything we did. It just happened that way. So I wanted to be able to be like, I can talk about, Medicaid and Medicaid. I'm not on it, but so I have no dog in the fight. I'm just telling you the facts, what I'm saying? And so I just think I do kind of have a unique position in that. And I'm just the middle class chick who is a teacher and has a short attention span. So most of my videos are about a minute and a half because that's as long as I want to edit. So, I think that's exactly why, though, I posted. I don't want anyone to feel alone like I did.
Let me take you down by the sea, in the sand. I'll solve it. Bury old equations fast and deep. Let's speak. Before the sun escapes us, before our skin betrays us, before the damage, let's find home. Before we lose our courage, before our feelings turn to knowledge, before the countdown, let's hope.
One thing that I really appreciate about all of you who post on social media is that it gives a look to anybody who's willing to look, a little insight into the reality that is you are still living, right? You have a diagnosis that could be terminal, and you're not dead yet. And you're living your life. And when you're living your life, you have all of the emotional capability of everybody else, right? And so you're not sitting around, and I'm sure there are people who do just sit around and kind of wallow and just feel bad for themselves, which you're allowed to do for sure. And I'm sure you have your moments as well. But you also are not scared to show the joy that you feel in life, and getting your hair done, and just all of the things that you do that that show that you are still living your life, and all of the things, the joy, the sorrow, the frustration, the happiness, and everything in between. And I think that's it's really important for people to see.
No, like I'm a whole person. And so I've heard, like I'm on TikTok, and TikTok wants us to niche down, and I can't. Like I can't just talk about scleroderma all the time. I can't. That's just not me. Like, and I did at first. I was like, okay, maybe I'll just do that. But it was like week 3, and I was like, okay, I'm out of things to talk about. So then I just started talk about my life. And yeah, like I'm a complete person. And I think also, I think medical professionals often too, like forget that we're a whole person.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have things in my past, like that shakes are triggering for me. You know what I'm saying? They're like, well, just take a shake. I'm like, it's not that easy for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I think that it is important to see that that disabled people, chronically ill people, we're just normal.
Yeah. Well, right. You're a whole person, and you're a whole person who has scleroderma, but that's not your entire life.
Right. But it does touch every area of my life.
It does. Sure. For sure. But I really appreciate the way that you allow it to be seen that it does touch every portion of your life, but that it's not squashing your life. It's affecting it for sure. And you're adjusting your life as you need to gradually, as you said. But you're still living and you got stuff to do. And I really appreciate that. What would you say to people who have a hard time living in a space with people who have illness? You know, you said some people don't do well with people who have illness, and that is true. I've seen it for sure. Some people come in and they really want to do a bunch of stuff, and then some people back off and like leave because they're afraid. Are there some things that you would tell people if they want to be a good companion for somebody who's living with serious illness? What would be useful? How could they best support somebody like that?
My college coach, he always says, people who care ask questions.
Mm.
So I think, you know, like I have friends who, how's your pain today? How was your doctor's appointment? You know, have you been sleeping? Is your pain pump still working? You know, so I think that asking questions is a good thing. Researching on your own, like, and then you can, like, that's also could open up a conversation. You're like, hey, I just learned something about your disease. You know, can I share what I learned? But I think also, you know, I think so often we just want to like just ask the person if there's a way you can support them, you know, because that's the best thing. But also, if all else fails, food is the answer, right?
It's always the answer in my life.
Yeah. Yes. So
Yeah.
if you like, I really want to help this person, and I don't know what to do, get them food. Whether that's a gift card, a DoorDash gift card, a restaurant gift card, dropping food by their house. Like, that is such a, like, I live in the South. Like, and when my biological father died, I realized, like, why people bring food, because you just can't think about another thing.
Yeah.
And I do get decision fatigue because I literally have to coordinate going to the bathroom.
Right.
Like right now, I'm home alone. I can't go to the bathroom right now. So, if like my microphone fell off, tough luck. Like,
Don't let it fall off.
Yeah, it's there. It's quick. Yes, we made sure.
Yeah.
So, you know, like I have to plan every little thing. So I think sometimes people make it too difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Ask. If you don't feel comfortable asking, bring food.
Yeah. I've heard people say that, like you said, decision fatigue, like you're trying to coordinate everything in your life. And if they come to you and say, well, let me know if I can do something, that puts something else on you, another decision to make, and something else to coordinate. But instead, like you said, just bringing food, sending something, offering something is helpful. I've heard, you know, it hasn't come up here, but like offering to come by and mow the yard, or offering to come by and do some yard cleanup, or, you know, can I take your car to get an oil change or whatever it might be? Just offering something is often helpful. All of the things that I have to do, you need to do as well. And so if I can take something off your plate, just offering to do it is often helpful, is what I've heard. So that's what I try to do.
I do have another friend who he's like, hey, I can come quick, like, and I can come clean your house real quick. And she also was like, and she's a teacher. So she's like, in the summer, said, if you need a ride to Vanderbilt, I'm happy to take you. I think when, like you said, if you say, let me know if you need anything, I put something else on my plate. But also, not everybody means that.
That's right. That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
don't say it if you don't mean it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't always read those cues well. So, but also, like, there's lots of people who are well-intentioned who say they're going to do things and that they don't, too. So, if you want to help, you can ask how they need help, or, like you said, think of something that you're willing to do and offer it, because that is really helpful as well.
Yeah.
So then it's not you. I very rarely taken somebody up on their offer to, if you need anything, let me know.
Yeah.
Because when I'm at the point where I need it, my brain's not working.
Yeah. I want to ask a little bit about how you see the world. I don't know. I think about this in terms of like existentially or spiritually, or kind of your worldview about why these things happen, why you got this. Do you have some sort of a spiritual belief or anything that kind of informs the way that you're dealing with your illness in particular?
Yeah. Like, I grew up, I'm a pastor's kid. I said that I was a pastor. I guess he would probably call me a deconstructing Christian if you're going to put a label on me. Like, I love God and I follow the teachings of Jesus. So I think that definitely has shaped my worldview. I don't think that, like, we had somebody who was mad at my husband last year coaching, told him to, that he needs to, like, look in the mirror because maybe that's why, I am the way I am, like, I'm sick. So I don't think that. I don't think that, me being sick is God's punishment on me or God's punishment on my family. I think this is my path. This is my race, and that it's my job to run it well.
Yeah, whatever it is that is sustaining you through this, I think it's working. You seem to be handling it well. I guess as you look forward now, thinking about what's ahead for you, what are you hoping for in the next year or 2 years?
I think, like, for me right now, my focus is on people, like my kid, my online community, my family and friends. Like, that's what my focus is on. Like, I have the easy part. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get to leave, and my son carries so much. Because his whole life is like he's watching me die in slow motion. His whole life is turned upside down. Things that were normal for him, like we used to go visit our family every summer. We don't do that anymore. Like, he took his first trip when he was 5 weeks old.
Yeah.
To go visit my family. Just lots and lots of changes all the time, and it's a lot. So trying to just equip him as much as I can while I'm here, like that's important to me. Because yeah, that's it's hard. His path is hard. He is the hardest path out of all of us, I think.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I'm aware of that, and he's aware of that. I think that I want to, like the song "My Way," I did it my way. Like that's me. Like last year I was dying last year. Like last November, in December, and then I got my pain pump, and that literally just turned everything around. But I still was like, I don't really know if I want to be here or not. So I literally was like, okay, my brother's getting married in September, so I need to hang around till then. And then there's basketball season, and I don't want to leave coach and be during basketball season. So, like next February, if I'm ready, then I can just do this. And yeah, so like literally, I just like, because that's the thing, like I could just stop fighting, and it, you know what I'm saying? That's all it takes is me just to decide to stop fighting. And obviously, that's not where I am now. But I also have another choice though, because I can do all the textbook things. I can sleep like I'm supposed to and eat like I'm supposed to, and just all my focus be on maintaining my health, or I can live. So like in the fall, I was like, my goal is to go see every one of these basketball games. I got to do coaches' basketball practices once a week for an hour. I wanted to go see, we had 3 girls playing college basketball that we coached in high school. I wanted to see all of them play. And then go to as many of the home basketball games as I could. So, like I could have stayed home and in the bed, and I'm like, what's the point? So, like I did it. I did all those things. Now I also got mono and felt awful by the end. I paid for it, but I can either live or I can just insulate myself. But what's the point? So, like, I go hard and then I crash and then I get up and go hard again. Like that's how I am.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm choosing to do. So whatever kind of comes across my plate, I'm like, can I do this? The capacity, yes, no. Does it align with, the hierarchy of things? Yes, no. And then either kick it to the curb or pick it up and let's move.
I love it. It's a microcosm of the choices that we're all making all the time, right? Like I could live my life in the most safe possible way that would give me the best possible chance at living as long as possible. And it might not be as fun, right? Like I might not get to eat my fried chicken. If I'm living my life as well as I possibly could, I'd be eating a salad instead of Gus's fried chicken, right? But it's not as fun, right? It's not as life bringing to me. I don't enjoy it as much, and so I'll eat my Gus's fried chicken and I'll exercise or whatever it is. But these are the choices that we're all making. You're just making them in a more concentrated way, I think. You could, like you said, just stop fighting and be done, which is a perfectly reasonable choice. And you could also be doing everything possible to live as long as possible, and you wouldn't find as much meaning in the life that you have. And so I think the way that you're doing is just perfect for you. And I think that that's a really good message for anybody living with any disease, and also, by the way, anybody that's living, to be intentional about the way that we're living our lives. I mean, it's so important because life is short, and for some of us, it's shorter than for others. What a educational thing that you just said. Just this idea of like having to think through and doing it your way, which is obviously for you the right way. I mean, you're doing it right.
Every day we wake up, eyes still closed, and no one knows the things behind our shut eyelids, or where any of it leads. I was blind and hoping, now my eyes are open. None of what I see makes sense. My mind's a fence, but I'm still singing. Ooh la 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 la, life goes on, and I'm not done. When everything goes up in smoke, I loved you with the very heart you broke. There's combat in your voice.
So, last couple questions. When Shoots gets to the point where she says, I'm done and I'm going to stop fighting this and I'm going to come to the end of my life, what do you think happens when you die?
I mean, I think it's an interesting question because Z and I have been talking about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I don't know. I think that, I think there's the afterlife. Like, I don't know if it's heaven or what, I don't think it's like what we picture heaven. I don't think if there is, I think there's definitely an afterlife. I don't think heaven is what people picture it's going to be like. That's what I think. But I don't really know. And it's funny that you think that I would read up and care, and I don't need to know. Okay, my child, when he gets on the bus to go for a game, how long are we going to be on the bus? Where are we going? Like, he needs all the details. I'll get on the bus, get nice and comfy, and go to sleep, waking up and get there. I don't even know where we're going, right? So, and like my son too, he could tell you each turn that they took, and I was asleep. So that's me. Like, I don't need to know. The people that get into arguments over the Bible says that it's going to be this way, and you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah,
I do.
Like, you don't know because there's several different things. It says several different things because the Bible's not univocal. So I don't need to know. I am not concentrating on what happens after I leave here. I'm concentrating on being here and finishing my race well.
That's a wonderful answer. That's a really great answer. I like it a lot.
All my Christian friends are going to be so disappointed.
Oh, they'll be so mad. Okay. Oh, it's all right. I'm here to tell you it's fine.
I do.
And honestly, I don't know is the only honest answer. And I don't care is as good of an answer as anybody has given. So being here now in the present moment where I can actually do something, that's it's a probably well, I don't know if it's better or worse, but it's a fine place to be. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Like I said, like I don't know, because like even if you look in the Bible, if we stay in the ground till Jesus comes back, or I mean, nobody knows.
Yeah. And I haven't ever died before that I know of, that I remember. So nobody's ever come back to tell me anything. So
right.
We'll see what happens. And you're right. I don't need to know. I don't need to know what comes. I like to know. I mean, I'm a little more on the side of your son. Like, I want to know, I want to have control. I want to know what to expect. But the reality is I don't need to know. I could just be here and do what I need to do right now. I could probably take a lesson from you. All right. The last question is, how do you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered as someone who made a difference. And somebody who made a difference. That we always have a phrase like, you leave it better than you found it. Like, I hope that I leave the world better than I found it.
I appreciate that. I think you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, Shoots, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast, and thank you for sharing all of your story and for educating people about scleroderma. What's your handle on TikTok?
She shoots.
That's right. She shoots. I also want to thank a former guest, Javita, who put us in touch. So thank you, Javita, for that.
Thanks, Javita.
As you heard Shoots mention, Javita, a guest from Season 2 of Dying to Tell You, made the connection between Shoots and me. As we were preparing for this episode, we learned that Javita had died late last week. She had been living with her rare form of cancer for a very long time, trying to walk that balance between life extension and quality of life. She impacted many and was a great friend to this podcast. Shoots very appropriately asked that we dedicate this episode of the podcast to Javita. So today we honor Javita. At the end of her episode, she said that she wanted to be remembered as someone who loved and was loved. I will remember her that way. May we all honor that memory by living out that love in our own lives, ensuring the people we love are well aware. You can also honor Javita by listening to her episode, Season 2, Episode 9. It's easy to find on our website, dttypodcast.com. Thank you, Shoots, for intentionally calling out and honoring Javita, and thank you for sharing so openly with us. What a pleasure to share this time with you. You can follow Shoots on TikTok, and you can find her handle in the show notes. Thank you, as always, to Chris, the producer Rock, and special thanks to the Iliff School of Theology's Death Care Collective for supporting the podcast. Check them out at iliffdeathcare.com. Thank you so much for listening, for opening your heart and your mind to these amazing guests, and for honoring their stories with your time and attention, and by living your life with intention and purpose. This is Dying to Tell You.